Welcome to the maddest party in the game. I'm Lady Dunsparce with Team Lethal Strike, and I have a meme deck for you that is so fresh that by the time this video is over, you might even say that it's raw. This is what I call a first draft deck list, which means I kind of just slop together an idea on paper to see what would work. Now, please give this list a try. If you have any suggestions, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment what you would add or take away from my deck list, because Pokemon TCG is a community. Let's share our ideas. Before I get into the deck list, though, I do want to share a little bit of personal lore that kind of inspired the direction that this list is going in. So the other day, I had a Facebook memory come up where I did this percussion clinic with all of the percussion majors at my college. Now, I was not a percussion major. I struggled with rhythm, particularly, you cannot trust me with a drum. But every so often, I would be asked to fill in the band with any kind of instruments that they needed help with, or if they just needed an extra helping hand. So I got kind of looped into this group of larger than life personalities that like to hit things with sticks. And needless to say, it was kind of thrilling. Quirkiest person of all, though, was definitely the professor. The professor always had these major ideas, but one of the things that I will always remember is he would ask us after every show if we all wanted to go get sushi. So today's list is going to be all about Tatsugiri EX. Now, let me tell you how these dinners went. We'd get to the local hibachi restaurant for the sushi, and you sat there in a little bit of a panic because you didn't know if you were going to be the star of dinner. The star of dinner is telling their life story and has to give their opinion on everything. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting there dreading the day that they ask me for my opinion on the drummer of Rush, and I don't even know anything about that band. Is it even a band? So, in the same kind of sense, Tatsugiri EX also kind of serves a similar function to those hibachi dinners. So let's check out this deck list starring Professor Tatsugiri and the rest of the percussion ensemble. All right, let's get into this list. I'm going to start with a super spicy take that Tatsugiri may be one of the most interesting EX Pokemon to come out of Surging Sparks. It has this attack, Cinnabar Lure, which for a fire, water, and dark energy allows you to go into your deck, look at the top 10 cards, and whatever Pokemon that you find there, you put on your bench. So just like those hibachi nights with Professor Tatsugiri, we don't know who the stars of our battle are going to be until we use Cinnabar Lure to kind of discover what we can put onto our bench. So that's why we are loaded up with Pokemon. We want to make sure that we have plenty of attackers and plenty of consistency cards in order to kind of line up our victory in a way that makes sense. So I only play 3 of these Tatsugiri EX. I play 3 Pidgeot EX for the quick searchability. Being able to seek out any one card that I want in my deck is incredibly useful. Then we have Dracloak, 2 Dracloak, and 3 Dragapult EX. Dragapult EX is very, very lethal, pun intended. So having the ability to snipe things on the bench and having the recon directive ability, which allows us to look at the top 2 cards, put one into our hand, put one at the bottom of our deck, that's going to be another way that we can kind of get through our deck as quickly as possible to get the stuff that we need in order to properly attack. We have 1 Charmeleon and 2 Charizard EX. Charizard EX is going to be a little bit stronger of an in-game attacker with 330 health points. Burning Darkness only gets tougher the more prize cards that your opponent has taken, so this could be just another useful attacker. Now, I wanted to get kind of spicy here, so Crocalor is going to lead us into Skeledirge EX Terra or Skeledirge EX Fire. So Skeledirge EX Terra has this ability that if you discard one of your basic fire energy, you're going to do 60 more damage. Any of your Pokemon will do 60 more damage, which I think could really help with some of those awkward, uncomfy math situations where we are just 10 short or we're just barely short of the KO. And then Skeledirge EX for 2 fire energies, and with 340 HP, like holy cow, what a tank. But for 2 fire energies, does 270 damage so long as there are no damage counters on it. So we just want to have these heavy hitting attackers. Another strategy that I'm quite interested in trying here is the Dusk Noir. So the Dusk Noir, we are very familiar with how this ability works, but we can put 13 damage counters on any of our opponent's Pokemon. And if we load up our bench with these Dusk Noirs, then some of these other awkward math situations, we're going to be able to kind of correct using the Dusk Noir. But it is at the expense of a prize card. So who knows? Maybe Dusk Noir will be the star of our hibachi dinner. We also have Togekiss, just another consistency Pokemon that allows us to draw cards. And then my personal, like the little sneaky one I've got here is Palkia V-Star. I've been a fan of Subspace Swell and the Star Portal ability for a long time. So I think that with the water usage in Tatsugiri, this could just add another additional layer. Okay, moving into the trainer cards that kind of make this all possible. We don't really have any unexpected surprises, but I do want to specifically highlight the cards from Surging Sparks that are going to be kind of key parts to how this deck works. So Call Bell, it is very, very weird. So if you go second, and only during your first turn is this card actually going to be able to be used, but you can search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, and then put it into your hand. And ding ding, what are we looking for? If you guessed our hibachi chef, Crispin, you are absolutely correct, because we need to get Tatsugiri set up turn 1 going second every single time if we want this deck to be successful, because Crispin plus Sparkling Crystal plus Tatsugiri equals full bench, question mark, hopefully. So Crispin's going to allow us to get 2 basic energy cards of different types, which is why we have so many energy types you're about to see in a second. And we can put those into our hand. We can attach one to a Pokemon, put one into our hand as well. Another card that from Surging Sparks that we are adding here is also the Deduction Kit. Now, if we kind of get this in our first turn of the game before we Cinnabar Lure, this is going to let us decide if we want to put that series of cards back at the top of the deck or put them at the bottom of the deck. One of the issues that I think could come up is that we don't get enough Pokemon with Cinnabar Lure, so hopefully maybe drawing into Deduction Kit will help us out with that. The other card from Surging Sparks that we are using in this list is the Terra Orb. Searching for a Terra Pokemon, revealing it, and putting it into our hand. A lot of these are setup cards that are supposed to go in tandem with Tatsugiri EX. Terra Orb is meant to grab a second Tatsugiri EX just in case we get into a donk type situation. We really have an easy possibility of getting donked if we are unable to get Cinnabar Lure set up. So if we can't get Cinnabar Lure set up, we definitely need to have Tatsugiri number 2 ready to go, because if we can't get Tatsugiri set up, then unfortunately the game is going to be over pretty quickly. In terms of energy counts, we do have a fun variety. We've got 6 fire energies. A lot of that is because the Skeledirge EX Terra does allow you to discard 1 in order to increase your damage output by 60. We have 2 dark energies, 3 water energies, and 2 psychic energies as well. I'm excited for this list that I've cooked up. Let's see it in action, see how it goes. So going right into our first game, after looking at that deck profile, I think it's pretty important that we go second, because in an ideal situation, we get Crispin right out the gate, we get Sparkling Crystal right out the gate, and we're able to get that Cinnabar Lure immediately. Cinnabar Lure is the key to kind of unlocking what this deck does, so we've got to make sure it's set up. So opponent flip tails, we get to decide we are not going to go first. Now this is a bit risky in the sense that if my opponent just gets everything that they need in by turn 2, that could knock out the Tatsugiri. It could be a quick game. So we're just going to see what happens here. We don't have any basic Pokemon. This is kind of run-of-the-mill for decks that only play 3 basics. But we only take 2 mulligans. My opponent's probably like, what, the Skeletor? But you know what? They'll see. So already we do have the Crispin, which is really good, but we have 4 Pokemon in our hand. So those are 4 Pokemon I'm not going to be able to get back into the deck. Could cause some issues. All right, so this is a Sylveon EX list, and there we go. The Latios, which means that there are no retreat cost on basic Pokemon. What does Oricorio do? Ooh, we can heal 20 damage from our active evolution Pokemon. I'm very excited to see how this goes. I have not actually played against Sylveon EX, so it'll be interesting trying to formulate this strategy right out the gate. Now, we're going to start with Pokegear. We want to kind of thin our deck just a smidge. That's not helpful in any way. But we're going to go ahead, get Crispin, get ourselves a Fire and a Water Energy. Unfortunately, because we did not get the Sparkling Crystal, we are going to be unable to do the Cinnabar Lure, but we can take a prize right out the gate with Surprise Pump. And that is kind of their primary attacker, so I'm not concerned about Tatsugiri getting knocked out this turn. We do have Terra Orb, so if I need to go into the deck to get an additional Tatsugiri for the next turn, if we cannot find an out to Energy or an out to the Sparkling Crystal, then we've got it. So it looks like my opponent's going to play Buddy Poffin. Again, kind of unfamiliar with this list. Ooh, Mimikyu EX. Well, not Mimikyu EX, just plain old Mimikyu. But what we've got, we have the Dusknoir kind of in our deck for situations like Mimikyu. So that's another alternate way that we can kind of knock out that Mimikyu without stressing. The other thing is Surprise Pump isn't affected by effects on my opponent's active Pokemon, so I can just attack Mimikyu. We're going to just... Oh, it looks like maybe it's not going to. I thought I'd be fine. Let's get the Terra Orb. Let's go ahead and grab Tatsugiri number 2. And yeah, I guess we'll just hit Surprise Pump. It does go ahead and attack, so don't be fooled by what the game tells you. It's always better to go ahead and hit the attack rather than pass. But because of that, it is a shred, so it's not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So we still have a ways to go. We need the Dark Energy, something serious. Our opponent does evolve into the Sylveon. We cannot, unfortunately, knock it out with the disarming pump, or the Surprise Pump. Lightning Energy onto the Sylveon, and we see another Eevee hit the bench. Okay. This is certainly not how I personally was expecting this game to go. I'm going to go ahead and throw Tatsugiri on the bench with the Water Energy here. If I need to Professor Turo the Tatsugiri away, I can always do that. We're just going to go ahead, Surprise Pump. Yeah. So far this deck has not done what exactly we're expecting it to do. So I'm kind of curious if there is a modification I need to make. Maybe I need to put some more Earthen Vessel, or maybe take out some Pokemon in order to ensure that I get the energy that I need. But with 4 Town Store, I gotta say there's not really an excuse here, right? Okay, seems like a good enough time for Turo here. And we will Surprise Pump. Okay, this has been a weird game. A very weird game. But it also goes to show that I think it doesn't. I think my opponent's just struggling to get set up, because I cannot think of another situation where this actually keeps working in the way that it is. So I know that there are 2 dark energies, 4 town stores, and 1 sparkling crystal. So that gives us, what is that? 7 cards to draw into? All right, our opponent is doing Colorful Friends from Eevee. Sounds good to me. I need to find my colorful friends. Oh, wait, they're all in my hand. Okay, we're going to surprise pump. This really is not going in the expected way. Getting 3 prize cards like this, there's a dark energy. Okay, so next turn, we will officially be able to do Cinnabar Lure. So the main question is, do I take another turn to ensure a KO on the Latios EX, or do I go ahead and go for the Cinnabar Lure? That is kind of where we're at. Can Sylveon knock me out? No, Sylveon can't knock me out. We do get the Elegant Heal onto the Latios EX. And we are going to see Sylveon into the active. Now, Disarming Voice is going to go ahead and confuse us, so this is a little nerve-wracking. It's going to put whether we're actually able to do stuff or not based on a coin flip, and I never like that. Call Bell does not help me, so we're going to, wow, this really is going to come down to a coin flip. I'm going to put Tatsugiri on, this is the second one on my bench, just in case to kind of prolong the game, and we are going to Cinnabar Lure. Come on, heads! There we go! And who is going to be the stars of my battle? So we have Charizard EX, we have Dracloak, we have Dragapult, and we have Dusknoir. We will take all 4 of those. So now the name of the game is Get Set Up. The name of the game is Get Set Up. Kind of checking out, I think first things, I think we might need to just go Dusknoir. I think we throw the Dragapult EX forward. I think that's going to be kind of the goal to get the Dragapult set up. We can use Mila to take the fire energy from the Tatsugiri. And then Dusknoir is going to be able to knock out that Latios. I don't mind to sacrifice a prize card in order to ensure that KO. So let's see that Disarming Voice. I am a little bit nervous because 100% I need a Psychic Energy now. So the Psychic Energy is going to kind of be the main thing that we need. We also could go Charizard. I'm not sure which one is better at the moment. So let's throw Dusknoir up. I know I'm going to use Dusknoir to knock out the Latios EX. And then, ooh, Crispin. Yes, my guy. Always randomly appearing when I need you the most. Thank you, Crispin. And I'm not going to prolong this. We're going to go ahead Cursed Blast to ensure that the Latios EX is knocked out. And then boop. Boop. There we go. 2 more prize cards. And then Dragapult will go ahead and Phantom Dive. I do think that this game was rather unfortunate for my opponent. I think in any other situation, I don't know how well that would have worked to not be able to Cinnabar Lure for so long. We did get quite lucky, but hey, all's well that ends well, right? Oh my gosh, how exciting! I'm so happy that strategy worked. So my opponent won the coin flip. They say that I'm going to go first. Okay, a little bit scary. Hopefully we don't run into like a Raging Bolt kind of situation. Now, once again, I don't have any basic Pokemon to start off with, so my opponent is going to get some mulligan cards into their hand. Now, if I was my opponent looking at my current hand, it literally looks like I just dropped my binder on the floor, which I think is the beauty of Tatsugiri. We really do not know. I do not know what Pokemon is going to be the one to do the most attacking until we get into the thick of this game. Who cares if Palkia V-Star is the best attacker, technically? We're going to end up finding out whether or not another one ends up taking its place. So it looks like it's only one mulligan, which is pretty nice. And we've got the dark energy right out the gate. Swell. Dark energy, fire energy. So we either need the sparkling crystal or we're going to need Crispin turn 2. So that's kind of where we're at. That's not like the worst. Ooh, Knackley. Is there a Garganacl EX that I should be worrying about? Oh, that's not what they wanted. We're going to attack and end turn. I guess we're going to find out how this goes. Charizard with a what does Garganacl EX even do? It's kind of interesting to see other people's spicy ideas on the ladder and see if they can come to fruition as well. We've got 2 Knackleys on the bench and the fighting energy. Is this the main character of our hibachi dinner tonight, guys? Unfortunately, I don't even have a water energy to surprise pump. So we wait. Now, it looks like Knackley has the attack corner, so does 10 damage, but you can't retreat, which feels kind of controlly, but also not exactly the purpose of what this Pokemon is supposed to do. Pass. Okay, so once again, we're struggling to get the setup, but I also think my opponent is struggling to get their setup. I'm not sure how telling that is of how well my deck works. There we go. There is our favorite little sushi chef. Let's grab a water energy and a psychic energy, I think. We'll put the psychic energy into our hand. All right, and now it's time to see who is going to be the star of our battle. I'm curious. So we've got Charizard, Dragapult, Pidgeot. Okay, so not exactly the robust setup that we kind of got the last game, but we do have the quick search ability on our bench, which is, with the free retreat. Mwah, chef's kiss. But we also have Dragapult and Charizard, which are very, very strong attackers. And I truly am going to just kind of ride this surprise pump until I no longer can. So thinking about what ideally I could quick search next turn, we are going to see an evolution here. We're going to see both of them evolve. So maybe for this turn in particular, it might be in my best interest to maybe get like a boss's orders. Maybe that's the play, get the boss's orders in order to take out this Knackle stack here. So let's see, do we have boss in our deck? We do. I am going to go ahead and go with this play. I think that it's cheeky. It's not letting me pick the correct Knackle stack. I want the one with 2 energies. It's only letting me pick the one with 1 energy. So I guess I'll pick this one. I promise you, I'm trying to drag the... PTCG Live is very glitchy. Sometimes you don't end up doing the move you actually genuinely want to do, but we'll just surprise pump the Knackle stack. Get rid of it. Now, again, I don't know what to expect specifically with Garganacl. Could be a problem. But, again, not entirely sure because they're not going to be able to use this. I can't even click on the Knackle stack. There we go. What does Garganacl do? Not affected by special conditions. And during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 60 less damage. Okay, so it's a little bit of a tank. It's very reminiscent of Gudra V-Star. Unfortunately, Tatsugiri is going to get knocked out this turn. Bit disappointing. And our attack is only going to do 100. We are going to go with the Phantom Dive. Our attack is going to do 140 damage. So yeah, let's do that. I wish that... I think that what we're going to do is we're going to use Mila this turn to get the fire energy. I definitely want to quick search and see if maybe we have Earthen Vessel, because I want to get the Charizard set up as well. So we do have plenty of fire energies in our deck, which is superb. So I'll go ahead and use Earthen Vessel. At this point, none of these Pokemon are going to really be used, so I'm okay to start discarding. We'll go ahead and grab 2 fire energies, attack here, and then let's go ahead and Phantom Dive. Now we still have 200 to do on the Garganacl. It's going to take a couple turns because of how tanky this thing is, but I think that we will be able to actually make this work. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Charizard EX. Holy mackerel. Okay, so we got the Charizard EX here, getting all set up. What a bizarre combination. The Charizard EX with the Garganacl EX. Not what I was expecting when I sat down to record Tatsugiri EX today. Okay, so we are going to get the attack. We are going to get the smack. All right, let's go ahead. We'll get the fire energy onto the Charizard EX. Let's quick search. Thinking this through. I'm like 10 damage behind. I think that I do the Dragapult and then Charizard EX really can handle its own, but I do have to be a little bit wary of this Charizard. So I'm gonna get quick search. And none of these Pokemon particularly, I guess, matter right now. I don't need Sparkling Crystal. Briar would be particularly nice if we could get it. I think at the moment we just continue with the Pokemon that we have. I'll go ahead and grab Water. Let's grab Crispin. No, I don't want Crispin. I just want to grab Water Energy, I think. We're going to do Deduction Kit. And we are going to shuffle those and put them on the bottom of their deck. Don't really want either of those. Kind of looking at what we've got here, I'm going to go ahead and Phantom Dive. Unfortunately, this does put me just a twinge short on the Garganacl. And it also puts me just a twinge short as well onto the Charizard. So, unfortunately, Dragapult EX is going to get knocked out this turn. Ooh, we see the Gouging Fire hit the bench. We are going to have to knock out all 3 of these Pokemon in order to take the victory here. Okay, so the Fighting Energy is going to go onto the Gouging Fire. We are going to see the knockout onto the Dragapult EX. To which I'm like, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, we definitely do need the Charizard EX this turn. Now, I could always set up an additional Tatsugiri, but I really do not want to give them any kind of out to boss up a weaker Pokemon in order to take the win. So I think we're just going to quick search with the Pidgeot. I'm going to go ahead and grab Counter Catcher here. I don't really want to use it yet. We're doing 240. Maybe I do. Maybe I just go ahead and get this Charizard EX out of the way. Charizard EX is going to do more to me than the Garganacl will. So I think we just Burning Darkness. Oop. Let's go ahead, attack Water Energy and Burning Darkness here for the knockout on the Charizard EX. All right. So we still have to take 3 prizes in order to win this game, but Garganacl has put a pretty valiant effort here. Even if it takes 60 less damage, we do only need to do 60 damage in order to knock it out. So we are going to be fine knocking it out. Gouging Fire will do 170 damage. So, all right. So this is going to be a little bit of a strange move, I think. I'm actually going to attack with Pidgeot EX. Pidgeot EX has this attack Blustery Wind for 120. We do 60 less, but that will be enough to take out Garganacl. And unless they have a boss's orders, Gouging Fire isn't going to be able to knock them out. So we are going to start with the retreat of Charizard EX into Pidgeot. We're going to attack for turn. We're going to Crispin. We're going to get the last fire, we're going to get fire and the last dark energy. Grab the dark energy, put the fire onto Charizard. We also have the town store, so we're going to have another way to get that sparkling crystal right there. It seems like everything's kind of working out. Quick search, let's just get something out of our deck. We have all of these Pokemon. I'm not really caring about what I draw into per se. Here, let's grab, I'm going to grab Turo's Scenario here. And then we will Blustery Wind here for the knockout. Wow. And are we going to discard the stadium? Yeah, I don't want to give my opponent an opportunity to pick up a tool card. Okay. So, I felt like we were really playing chess with that one. Okay, so Gouging Fire, unless we see the boss's orders, that's kind of if my opponent has to play Counter Catcher or boss's orders in addition to the extra fire energy in order to take the win here. Because for us, shuffle your hand, flip a coin. Drasna? Really? Drew 8 cards? Okay. This is crazy. This list is crazy. Okay, Pidgey. I have no idea what's happening here. Zero idea. We loaded up for sure. And they do not have the counter catcher. So we are going to be able to take the W here. As simple as a retreat. Sparkling Crystal. Into a Burning Darkness. Insane. Insane for sure. Again, I'm not sure if those would have been the Pokemon I would have necessarily chosen to play this battle, but always interesting to see what Tatsugiri brings out. Believe me, guys, I'm just as shocked that that worked out as well as it did. Because this is kind of a weird situation. You really have to have the consistency in order to make it happen. I mean, this is the kind of deck that works 33% of the time. If it's raining on a Tuesday at 4:32 a.m., when it does work, a litter of puppies is born, the sky splits, the choir of angels comes down singing the Hallelujah chorus. I know, because it happened to me just now. And the entire time I was just thinking, thank you, Professor Tatsugiri, for inviting me to Hibachi. Now, if you want to see more first draft deck lists or you have an idea in order to make this deck a little bit better, put it in the comments, like, and subscribe, and follow Team Lethal Strike for more content. Stay safe, stay positive, stay healthy, and catch you in the next video.